So I have over 200 smartphones, and a lot of them is oldie but goodies of their time. So I'm starting a new series that's called Oldie but Goodies and How Smartphones Have Aged Over Time. So let's have some fun. So in 2020, Sony released the Sony One Mark II with a beautiful 4K display, a beautiful design, a very good professional camera system on the smartphone, a phone that rumbles in your hand when you're playing music or playing games, a phone that's different, not like your traditional smartphone, a device to me is not for the average consumer, or I call them the regular degulars, a device that's made for the prosumer. So welcome to another episode of Oldie but Goodies. Let's go on and see how the Sony One Mark II have aged over the past 3 years. So let's have some fun. Sit back and relax and get your popcorn ready and follow me on this journey. Let's go. What's up, guys? This is Eric back with another video. So what you just saw was the Sony One Mark II, just beautiful camera footage. I believe that this device is camera first and smartphone second. But let's talk more about the Sony One Mark II as we get into the specs. This device has a huge 6.5-inch 4K display with the Snapdragon 865 processor. You can get it with 8 or 12 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of storage, SD card support. Now on the rear, you got a triple camera setup, which consists of 3 12-megapixel cameras, which is 16mm, 24mm, and a 70mm camera. You have a 0.3 time-of-flight sensor on here. As far as video, this device can shoot at a mind-blowing 4K 120 frames per second. And in the front, you got an 8-megapixel camera. Now, it's a 4,000 milliamp battery in this device. You got HDMI out and a headphone jack. Now, this device is running Android 12 with June 2022 security patches as of me recording this video. But it do have 2023 Google Play System updates. Now, as of me recording this video again, this device is end of life when it comes down to updates and security patches, which is crazy because this device is an Amazon pick with a mind-blowing $1,555, which I wouldn't recommend buying this device at that price. But if you want to, I would leave the product links down in the description below. But I wouldn't recommend buying this device for $1,500, even though it's good, but it's still end of life. So let's take a moment and look at the build quality of this beautiful device. Now, it is a fingerprint magnet. Now, I mean, this is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, it has a beautiful, minimalistic, sleek design that feels real good in the hand. Now, one of the things that this device stand out among the rest of smartphones out there, that it features a tall and narrow design, which is great for watching movies and videos and playing games. So the Sony One Mark II has Android 12 with close to pixel stock Material U design on it, which gives it that ultra smooth and clean look. Now, one of the things that I was very impressed about re-reviewing this device is that how fast, how good the performance is on this device. Wow, this device is very fast. Opening up apps and scrolling through the UI was very fast. I mean, wow, it's very fast. It goes to show you that smartphones is still really good, even though it's end of life. But this device is still really good. Playing games, it does get a bit warm, but it doesn't get hot to the touch. Look, I was outside shooting videos and this device was warm, but it didn't get hot to the point where it shut down on me. But as far as performance, I could play all high-end games on this device and it played it with no problem. Very top-notch performance on the Sony One Mark II. So looking at the display on the Sony One Mark II, you could play 4K HDR video, and I've said it and I will say this again. The Sony One Mark II has one of the best displays in the game. It's good, it's sharp, deep blacks, good vibrant colors. Now it's not as bright as, current devices, but this display is absolutely gorgeous. So Sony flagships in general is not for the average consumer, or as I say, regular degular. First, let's talk about what couple of reasons why it's not for the regular consumer. The design. It's a 21:9 aspect ratio, which is not traditional. This is not a traditional smartphone when it comes down to the aspect ratio. Look, this device here has a headphone jack, which is not traditional, right? That's not traditional headphone jack, right? A lot of devices lack that feature. Now, this device has professional features unlike traditional smartphones. Features like internal monitor support, right? HDMI support, right? If you are in the Sony Alpha camera ecosystem, if you have Sony mirrorless cameras, you can use this device as a secondary monitor, which is really good, right? Next, one of the reasons why this is not a traditional smartphone, this device have 3 native camera apps on here. You have the regular camera app, it's not that great, which is your traditional app. You have a Photo Pro. If you want to take professional photos, you could do that with Photo Pro app. And also you have what's called Cinema Pro. Now, Cinema Pro is a professional camera app that's native to this device, and it is if you want to shoot videos or even close to movies, you have access to all your lenses, 16mm, 24mm, 70mm. You can also shoot in RAW as far as still footage and JPEG at the same time, which is really nice. Now, more current devices, you could do that. But man, listen, this device has some pro camera features on here. It is absolutely marvelous. If you want to get that cinematic look, if you want to get stuff like Venice and monochrome and stuff like that, it have built-in LUTs that's already pre-installed on this device. And again, this is the native camera apps, not third-party apps that you have to download. These are native camera apps, which is really good. Listen, if you want a point-and-shoot camera, this is not the device for you. If you want to just pull out the phone and you want to open up a camera app and shoot a photo, this is not the phone for you. The native camera app, the regular native camera app on this device is not that great. But if you want to shoot like a professional, you have professional features on this device. So that's one of the things that I feel that this device is not for the regular degular, because this is a professional made device for professionals as far as camera features. So how has the Sony One Mark II held up over the past 3 years? Well, it's good and some bad stuff here. Let's talk about the good stuff. The professional camera system on here is still top notch, even in 2023, right? So that is a pro. Also, the display on this device is the best in the game. Not the brightest, but the best in the game. Performance here is unbelievable, fast, and everything else in between. The design on this device have held up really good. No scratches, no breaks. In the past 3 years, it have held up really good. And that's some of my positives here. So let's talk about some of the bad stuff. First, shame on Sony for selling a high-priced phone for only 2 years of support. Damn, LG Mobile is closed and still updating their devices. So it's not a good look for Sony releasing devices with only 2 years of support, that's just crazy insane for the price point of these devices. Sony, please start supporting your devices for 4 and 5 years. Please, at the price point, I think they need to do that. Next, let's talk about battery life. Battery life here is not that great. Look, I've been using this device to do this review for the past week or so. And as I was reviewing this device, going outside, doing a lot of camera footage, the battery life is okay, right? You definitely have to reach for your charger here. So just keep that in mind. Battery life here on this device is not the greatest. So here's my conclusion. The Sony One Mark II is a great phone with a beautiful design and almost perfect display on here. I was wishing that it was just a little tad brighter, but it's a beautiful display. Look, I'm glad I have this phone in my arsenal, right? It's a beautiful device. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's so refreshing to go back and pull out these devices and re-review them. Look, if you like me doing these oldie but goodie videos, right? Let me know down in the comments below, because I like doing this. I like pulling out some of my older devices. And for the past couple of weeks, I've been dropping every week a oldie but goodie video, because it's just so refreshing to see how we have came from older devices to the newer devices. And you know what's so funny? That a device like this, I could definitely use as my daily driver. It has the speed, it has the specs, it has the capability, it has the headphone jack, it got HDMI out if I want to use it for a professional camera, along with my cameras. This is a professional grade camera on here. That's why they call it Pro. And I think for the most part, Sony devices is really good for that. Now they are pricey, very pricey devices, and they don't get long support. So that's a bad thing about these Sony devices. Sony need to get on the ball and start supporting the devices for 4 and 5 years, just like everybody else, especially if you go charge those high prices. Man, leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think about the Sony One Mark II in all its glory. See you guys on the next video. Peace.